Books, the primary tools that people use to transmit ideas, record memories, create narratives, exercise power and distribute wealth, have been with mankind for hundreds of years. Books have passed from generation to generation, from wood tablets, clay tablets, wax tablets, to papyrus, codex and scrolls, and finally to paper and the dominance of the printing press. Today, books come in a new format, known as the electronic book or e-book. The moment of crossover has now arrived. It's another moment of digital revolution. How will book readers and people involved in the book trade respond to this change? Will paper books be swept away by digital media in 10 years' time, as has happened to physical formats in the music industry before it? We have an opportunity to talk to two bookworms who have been reading for all their lives. Gina vows never to change her medium.
Yes, I've heard about Kindle. Not that impressed.
Lorna has been using Kindle for the last 4 months.
I went on holiday to Australia and I could load all the books onto the Kindle, not have to carry 10 books in my suitcase.
I think they're interesting, but Kindles and e-readers, personally I wouldn't want to use them. Well, I have a book here, which is one of my favourite books, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And you can just see it. I love the colour, I love the smell, I love the feel of it. This one's quite old, as you can see, it's quite yellowy. It's like an old friend. You can take it to bed, can take it on the tube, and I can put marks in it. It's just fabulous. I love the feel of paper.
My brother-in-law bought a Kindle, and he had one like this with the, with the cover. Then you could hold it the same way you do a book. If you're lying in bed or something, you don't have to sit there sort of holding it like this. You can actually hold it the way you would hold a book. And I think that was one of the main things, really, was just seeing that you could have it and hold it as a book rather than a little pad.
Because I don't like plastic, and I don't like screens. It just isn't tactile, it's not friendly, it doesn't bend, it's hard.
But yeah, I do. I take it everywhere with me.
I can't ever imagine myself sitting in my flat, really like, oh, I'm going to cosy up with a nice hot chocolate and a Kindle. No.
Okay, you can change the pages by moving the arrows forwards or backwards.
I don't want to just be holding plastic and just moving a screen like that. And also I don't like the light, it gives me a bit of a headache.
Of course, you get to see the screen and I realised that, it was easy to read, it wasn't going to make your eyes tired, it wasn't shiny. I was just before I went on holiday to Australia and I realised that I could load all the books onto the Kindle and not have to carry 10 books in my suitcase the way I've had to do in the past.
It's not too heavy to take with me, and the reason why I love books is the paper, really. I feel like you're on a journey. You start at the beginning and you work through to the end. It really is like a journey. It's fantastic, but I wouldn't get that from a Kindle.
That was the main reason, travel.
I do a lot of cooking, so we've got a fantastic cookbook here with all the pictures. Now when I'm cooking, I don't want a little Kindle or anything with just pages. I want to look at what I'm cooking, wow, that's going to be a really great pea soup, and see the pictures and then get egg and get it all mucky and the pages stick together and really feel that it's a really good book. I can't imagine anyone wanting to use a Kindle while they're cooking. It's just not the same, no.
But it is easier if, for example, I'm finding it easier if I'm reading in bed before I go to sleep. It's actually easier to have the Kindle rather than a paperback. It's actually the Kindle's better in a lot of situations.
In September 2010, Amazon released figures showing that for the first time, ebooks outsold paperbacks in the United States. In 2010, Amazon itself sold 8 million Kindles. And this does not include other brands of e-readers such as Sony e-readers, Barnes & Noble Nook readers, Alex e-readers and iPads, which compete in the same market.
It's a bit of a shame actually in a way if people are going to start buying more ebooks than paperbacks.
I'm amazed that they're so popular, but you can see why, because they're so convenient. And you don't have to store them, you don't need, storage space like I have, you don't need bookcases.
Book, absolutely.
I think I'm quite old-fashioned.
I think I'm a little too old to change.
I'd like to try one though. I actually do want a Kindle.
I've had a Kindle for as soon as it came out.
They're going to become more and more common.
The information is still there, it's more convenient, it's cheaper.
But I don't know, it just doesn't have the same feel about it.
I have like 3,000 books in this, and many textbooks in this.
I like the feel of the book in your hand. I like the smell of the pages.
You can't flick between pages. You can't refer back on a Kindle very easily.
I prefer the physical feel of a book.
Textbooks, and it's much heavier compared to this, which is, has many more times.
Like with the Kindle, for example, it gives me a headache.
I can read for 3-4 hours without a problem, just like a normal book.
You can find sort of free books as well on the internet.
You're going to lose libraries. You're going to lose, just that sort of reading culture.
I would guess, I was a person that used to buy 2 newspapers a day, and I don't buy any anymore. I read everything online. So I would guess that the tangible publishing of new books is going to decrease quite dramatically. And I think, the amount of new bookshops, meaning bookshops that sell new books, will decrease dramatically. I don't think it's the way of the world, isn't it? I think secondhand bookshops will always survive because there'll be kind of a novelty aspect to them, but not on the level that they exist now.
Although some continue to buy paper books rather than e-books, it cannot be denied that people buy fewer books in bookshops nowadays. Many people check out books on the shelves and then go online to search for a better deal. As a result, many independent bookshops have closed down, and Borders, one of the biggest bookshops in the UK, has already collapsed. Waterstones is having a tough time, and if e-books flood the market, are bookshops going to survive?
What kind of book is it?
It's a book about George Jackson, Black Panther.
Okay. Okay, no, I know the book, sorry. It will definitely affect the business. How much and when is the big question. I wouldn't be able to predict that, but I think eventually it will affect it. So, I can't imagine it having a positive outcome, only a negative one.
I really hope other bookshops don't close down. It'd be really sad, because for a lot of people they're a social kind of hub, especially the bookshops that sell coffee. And little independent bookshops are just great to go into. They're just part of the local scene. So I really hope that they don't close down, but they're going to have to really think how they can get people to stay. I sell food and drink, that's one way to get them to stay, and then have more book readings, music evenings or something, I don't know. They're going to have to really think about it, but it's going to be tough for them.
The result of the digital book revolution is more and more people using e-readers. This can be seen in public places where users are happy with this gadget and the convenience it provides. Are e-books going to replace paper books in 10 years' time?
I don't think a Kindle or an e-book is going to take over a hardback or a paperback. I feel that they should go hand in hand.
I think definitely, yeah, it will. E-readers and electronic books will definitely take over than conventional books, definitely.
Replace, I wouldn't say exclusively, no. I think people will always, people still write letters, don't they?
Maybe eventually, 50, 60 years' time, when we've all got used to it, and maybe it will happen, but definitely not in 10 years. I could be wrong.
I think definitely by 2020.
Will survive, but kind of in another vein.
Oh, it's pretty sad now you said that.
The question is not will there be change, but when. And when the time arrives, there may no longer be bookshops, and libraries may look very different. Many jobs will be lost, and a smaller number of new high-tech jobs created. It remains to be seen whether the impacts of this digital revolution will be positive or negative overall. However, one thing is for certain: the digital revolution is happening, and the change it brings is inevitable.